I've got a couple of 100 grams of shallots. You want to slice them sort of lengthways. I've also got some fresh coriander to sort of chop up and put inside with the shallots. That's optional. I know a lot of people actually don't like fresh coriander. The biggest issue with previous recipes was always getting it to bind, because as we know, things like ground almonds don't bind. So anyway, that's a couple of 100 grams of sliced shallots. We're just going to stick in a little bit of fresh coriander. I'm literally just taking like a quarter of the bunch. In with the onions, or in with the shallots. Give them a squeeze. So we just want to squeeze the onions. You're trying to break them down a little bit. A, to release some of the moisture, and B, so they're not so stiff when they go into the, when we create the batter around them. So if you were using the roti mix, you would use for this large portion 100 grams of roti mix. Okay? I'm going to use Panda flour, because it's flour plus seasoning, which is exactly what you've got in the roti mix. Yeah, so follow along. So seasoning. Now this is optional, so you can, if you don't like something, then swap it out for something else. I would say turmeric is pretty essential in this. You want a good 5 grams of turmeric. So get that in. So all the seasoning is going to go in now. Salt. So I've made these twice now, and on both occasions I've said not enough salt. So I'm actually going to go with 10 grams of salt this time round. Cumin or cumin seeds. So I've got cumin seeds, good. Again, this is going to depend on what what flavours you like, but cumin seeds in here will be a nice authentic touch. I'm putting 10 grams in there. The last one being chilies. Now, these are definitely optional. Yeah, chili flakes. Put what you want in there. A pinch. Okay, give it a bit of a squeeze, get those flavours combined. Right, and to that is now 60 grams of Panda. $60 grams of Panda in there. Again, so now give that a good mix, and you're sort of it's gonna start sticking together with the onions and with the shallots. You want the seasonings in there first, because that will give you a consistent flavour. Everything is coated now. So all of the shallots, all of the spices, it's all coated now. To that, 250 grams of water. So, in it goes. Give it a good squelch together. Now, you're going to have to let this sit for 5-10 minutes. It just, again, we need to allow the Panda to soak up the water and firm up the dough. So at the moment it's quite loose. It will change, so just keep kneading for a minute. Okay, so it's starting to come together. I'm just going to leave it now. I'm just going to let it rest, so you can start it to come together as a big ball of dough. I'm going to let that rest for a few minutes. I'm just going to take small handfuls. You can weigh it, and when I weighed these out earlier, they were 40 grams each. So that's probably why I ended up getting like 16, or what would have been 16 out of it. Don't make them too big, because otherwise you're going to struggle to sort of cook the centre. Give them a nice squeeze, get them compact. You can do all of this in advance and then just stick them in the fridge ready for deep frying. You could bake them. You won't get the same texture. So they will bake, but don't expect proper onion bhaji. If you're doing what I'm doing here, i.e. pan, then you'll need to test the temperature. So temperature needs to be about 170. If you've got a little deep fry fryer, then you'll have a temperature gauge on it. If not, you'll need to get yourself a little thermometer. The ones that I made earlier, these were the ones that I made out of the roti mix. So exactly the same method, it's just that everything is dumped in there at the same time. And they're quite firm. Because they've been sitting around for a couple of hours now, they're quite firm. They're different texture because obviously the flour has had more time to soak up the moisture. So,
I don't know, use silicone tongs.
Don't overload. Don't overload the fryer. I've put 5 in there. That is more than enough. You can see the oil sort of come high, but we're okay. We're good. This is how he talks to us. He gets a squeaker toy. And
he's not a vocal dog, is he?
He's not a vocal dog, but he loves a squeaker toy, and he'll come and stand by you and have a conversation with you, squeaking his rugby ball.
He's very good at using different tones.
Yes. Tones and tempo.
Morse code, really.
Yeah. So, you sort of know when they're done. I mean, they're floating at the top of the oil now. The amount of bubbles that they're producing, so the amount of liquid coming out has reduced. It is only batter in there, so you don't have to overcook these. Look at them. Absolutely perfect.